Well, welcome back to Tropical Boise. My name's Rich. A little update video here of how things are going in the winter in Boise, which has been incredibly mild. Today's December 23rd, so happy Festivus to all who celebrate that. All right, the Festivus for the rest of us. It's currently 54 degrees out here, which is just crazy because I think the average high temperature for this time of the year is 38 degrees. Just kind of wild. So I decided to open up a couple boxes today and take a look at where they are. So let's go take a look. So I decided to open up the California fan palm today first, just to get a real good look at what's going on here, right? I had to build this brand new, much larger box than I had last year because he grew just a ton over the winter, and he's quite happy in here, right? This box I built a little with a little less window to let air in, just because I know it's more surface area to heat in there, but hasn't been an issue so far. But like I said, we've been just super warm. Most of this month has been in the 50s. I think the coldest temperature we've had was 20 for an overnight low. The thermal cubes have almost not kicked on at all, which is great, you know, and that can happen but you can also get cold enough to kill these things if you don't protect them. So nice and green. I'll give you a little over the top look in there at how he's doing. Real pleased, just very happy with how this one is going. I did have to laugh. You remember the banana, I cut him way back, right? If you look in there, it's just kind of the stump, and I cut all the flower, or the fronds or leaves, I guess you'd call them. It's been so warm, he's trying to shoot up another one here, so he didn't have a lot of room to grow in here. So I don't know what's going to happen if we stay as warm as we are, but I guess not a bad problem to have. It has been, like I say, very mild. In here we have a windmill palm, and he's been in the ground for a couple years. He got the box from the California fan palm last year. He grew that much to where he also outgrew his. But if you look in there, he's got a frond that's starting to open up. He's got another spear in there. Just been real happy. And of course, you know, these guys could damn near survive here unprotected until you get to those really cold temperatures. Here's a indication of just how warm we've been this winter in Boise, right? It's December 23rd, and I've got bulbs coming up. I mean, we're either going to have flowers in January or frozen bulbs, and I don't know what happens to bulbs if they freeze. If we were to get super cold, if it'll kill them or if they'll come back up. And it's just crazy. We've got some in the front yard popping up as well, so they're a little confused, but it's been that warm. And here's the other windmill palm. I just flipped the box off him. You know, he's only a couple feet tall, but looks super green, looks super happy in there. And remember the kind of my plan here, some of the lights stay on all the time. Basically took out every other bulb in that strand, and then you got the thermal cube connected to that entire pack of lights, and those do a good job of heating it up. Like I say, they've almost not come on at all so far, but that's kind of it's kind of where we're at with that. And hopefully it stays nice and mild this winter, and that these can come off maybe sometime in March. That would be outstanding. And here's the Mediterranean fan palm. Same deal, nice and green in there. You know, same system in all these boxes in terms of the thermal cubes, and some lights run all the time and some don't. But it's been pretty great. So I think I'm gonna head back inside and we'll talk about the weather forecast and kind of what we've had this winter. All right, just want to take a just quick look at our long range forecast. I think if you're going to do something like this and try to overwinter palms, it's a good idea to, you know, constantly check in with your weather forecast, see any potential storms or cold weather that could be an issue. I really like this Climate Prediction Center from NOAA. It's got a lot of valuable maps in here from the 6 to the 10 day. I like to always look at the 8 to 14. And it basically is prognosticating whether you're going to tend to be above normal or below. And, you know, things are still looking really good for us here in Boise. They have a 3 to 4 week outlook. That one was published on December 19th. Still has us on that trending above. The 1 month one that came out December 18th for all of January has this kind of equal chance. And they do have a 3 month one too that I think is valuable. And we're kind of on that for January, February, and March. But so far we've been so far above normal. Kind of looking at going back to what our December has looked like. You can see up there we're 52 degrees right now. Well, 54. It's warmed up just a little bit. That's really unseasonably warm for here. We're usually about 38 degrees for the high right now. The coldest averages that we get are 37 and 24, and that starts on Christmas Day. But if you look at what we've had this December, just really balmy temperatures. We've only had one day where we didn't get at least into the 40s. That was our coldest night as well, down to 20. But that's the coldest that we've seen. We haven't had anything zone 7 or zone 8 for the whole month, and we've had a couple of 60s in there and a whole bunch of 50s. This week is certainly going to be warm. Certainly not going to be looking at a white Christmas here in Boise, that's for sure this year. um, it will cool down a little bit next week, and for that first week into January as well, but nothing that's really concerning in terms of low temperatures overnight. It just looks like we're going to be pretty mild. And, if once we get into late January, it becomes pretty rare for zone 7 temperatures. In fact, we did get one in February, if you remember last year, but it's the only time that that's happened in 10 years. So, we're essentially about halfway through Boise winter, right? When I consider our winter, it's usually November 20th through about January 20th. It can get cold after that, but it becomes less rare because temperatures are starting to warm up at a pretty good clip. So anyways, hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe. Thanks.